In part 5 of this series, I gave a rough timeline for the system's notable, I guess you'd call them achievements. They've been at it since the days of Napoleon, for the love of Lafayette. And of course, the conspiracy continues right down to the present day. In this episode, I'll discuss the why of the system, their motives for seeking to control humanity. Well, yeah, that, but it's quite a bit darker than mere greed and lust for power. Well, it's not a pretty story, is it? The crux of the matter is that the families behind the system, well, they simply think they're better than us. We already discussed their racism in part 4, but they think they're better than most white people too. Especially those of us whose last names end in vowels. Silent vowels don't count. Look, these people view their wealth and power as proof of their superiority, and they view their supposed superiority as justification to acquire more wealth and power. To them, it justifies the imposition of their values on the rest of us. It justifies their concealment of the truth. It justifies their manipulation and oftentimes brutal treatment of the masses they disdain. Think of the system as some super exclusive country club or tennis club or yacht club or whatever. Whatever helps you understand. So you go to one of these fancy clubs. Now, a lot of people work at the club, and a lot of people visit as guests, but only a select few of the people you see in the club actually belong to it. It gets weirder, because with the system, even the members of the club aren't all on equal footing. Some are, shall we say, larger members than the others. Yeah, but that's how elitist they are. It's not enough to distinguish themselves from the brown people who make their drinks and the social climbers on the guest registry. They even have to distinguish themselves from other members of their own damn club. Call it what you will. The fact of the matter is that some families have been members for generations. Club membership is a birthright for these people. Yep, even her. But of course, legacy members like her aren't necessarily large members of the club. Many of the dimmer ones are kept in the dark to a large extent. Which is not to say that they're never given positions of power. It's just that when they are, they're also given handlers who make sure they stick to the agenda they don't know about. Membership isn't restricted to these families, though. Outsiders can join, and some even become large members. But you can't apply for membership. It's invitation only. The system seeks out new members among the ambitious, the corrupt, the ruthless. I think they're looking for people with better taste. Just how exclusive is the system? Let's talk about the Bilderberg Group. Bilderberg Group. What, you didn't know that every year a group of leading politicians, their advisors, media execs, business leaders, and military brass meet for a few days in secret to discuss global affairs and the world's future? But maybe you don't think that sounds too suspicious. I mean, things like leaders from the media being there but refusing to report a word of what happens. And the Bilderberg Group is just one of the many groups the system controls. Most of them meet behind closed doors and decide the fates of the rest of us. So does that answer the question as to why the system controls and manipulates us? They meet in secret because they think you're stupid. Too stupid to handle the truth, too stupid to help decide the future, even your own. Too stupid to be entitled to the privileges of wealth and power that they enjoy to an obscene extent. God, he looks like a chimp, doesn't he? So there's your why, folks. In the eyes of those behind the system, you are a fucking moron. Congratulations. You are now free to follow the leader. On the next and final episode of Johnny Explains the Conspiracy, I discuss the how of the conspiracy. Not like how do they do it, because we've already talked about that. But rather, how do we stop them? Say a prayer for me.